stopping in. This is a ring keeper. It's made of birch and bloodwood, and I made this years ago when I first started wood turning. And I know I did it when I first started because I didn't even finish the bottom properly. It looks like I might have done a really poor job with a chattering tool, but I'm really not sure. However, my wife still likes it. She puts rings on here once in a while, just a place to store them. And now we have a dinner coming up for our Central Alberta Wood Turners Guild. And each of the turners is going to hopefully turn something to bring along so that each of our ladies or partners, whatever, will have something to draw for. So I want to make another one something like this. And if you'll stick around with me, I'll show you how I'm going to do that. Well, I have two pieces of wood to start this project. I've got a piece of oak, 3.5 inches long and 3 inches square for the base. And for the flame, I'm using a piece of bloodwood. It's 2 inches long, 7/8 of an inch square. I found the center point on both ends of them, so I can put them between the live center and the drive center. Now let's take them over to the lathe and start getting some work done. I'm going to be turning this using my spindle roughing gouge, and I'm turning at 2000 RPM. And as I've said before, I like to turn fast. I think that it gives me a much cleaner cut. If you don't like to turn fast, please don't do so just because I do. Turn at whatever speed you are comfortable with. Now I'm going to put a tenon on one end so I can put it into my 4-jaw chuck. I'm using my skew chisel and doing a peeling cut. Alright, I'll reverse this into my 4-jaw chuck now. I'm going to switch over to a 1/2 inch bowl gouge now, and still turning at 2000 RPM. And I've brought the live center up there for a little support just while I'm doing some of the shaping. I have it sanded up to 400 grit, which is probably plenty, but I'm also going to use some Yorkshire grit, just because why not? I'm turning at 250 RPM to apply it. I want to make sure I rub it in real good. And then I'll turn it up to 2000 RPM just to buff it real good. I don't think I'm going to get that looking any better than that. Now it's time to figure out how to reverse this. I've taken a large piece of cedar and made a jam chuck so that I can take this, jam it in there, and turn the bottom. Now, if it gets in there too tight, it could be difficult to remove. So I've made sure to drill a hole all the way through, and I can put a dowel through, give a smack on the top of this piece, and it should dislodge it. Of course, we'll find out if that's really going to work in a moment. So, I'll go get my turning smock on and see about putting this in the jam chuck. Alright, I want to put this in there. I'm going to use my mallet to just put it in snugly. It's not running very true. I think I can live with this. Now let's just see if it's going to stay in there. Well, I think that's going to be all right. I'm going to be turning this with very light cuts, hoping not to dislodge this. I'm going to turn at 1000 RPM using my 3/8 inch bowl gouge, which is freshly sharpened. And let's see what happens with this. Alright, I'm just going to sand this bottom, put a couple of rings on it, put a recess for my logo coin, and I'll be back. Alright, sand it to 400 grit, feels good to me. Now I'll do those rings. All right, that worked great. Popped right out. Looking good. Looking good. I'll put the logo coin in there. And I'm going to work on the flame for this. All right, this is what I've done with the flame. I've drilled a 5/32 inch hole in the end to match the hole I have in the base. And I'm going to turn a very small dowel to stick them together. Normally, I would turn a tenon on here, but I don't have any kind of chuck that would hold something that small. So that's why I'm using the dowel. Now I'm going to use my 1/4 inch spindle gouge just to part this off here. Then after I put the dowel in and have these glued together, if necessary, I'll reverse this back into that jam chuck, and then I can sand the joint between these two if there's too much discrepancy. Also, I'll be able to sand up here and then redo the Yorkshire grit and Hampshire sheen that I have put on here already. Okay, I'm just going to turn a real small dowel, glue those together, and I'll be back. I have my caliper set for 9/64 of an inch, just 1/64 thinner than what the holes are. After all, I need a little space for glue. Now I'm just going to turn this down to that size. And I believe that's got it. All right, I will glue these together, and then I'm going to have to put them in the jam chuck because this is not perfect in here. I will be back. All right, I just want to put a little glue on this and then push it in to the hole at the top of the base. Some more on here and push the flame onto it. I'll use a piece of shop towel. I've got the pin taken out of my live center. Be able to drive it on straight. And then take some wet shop towel to get this glue off of here. Now I'm just going to give that plenty of time to dry. Looks like it's spinning fairly true. And then I'm going to sand this joint. It's off just a hair, but I don't like that. So I'm going to sand that and refinish it, and I'll be back. Well, there's the finished product. I'm pleased with it, and I hope whoever ends up with this in the draw is going to be happy with it. So thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you'll come back next time. In the meantime, have a great day in your shop and be safe. Now, if you did like this, please click the like button, share it with your friends if you like, and don't forget to subscribe. And a real big thank you to all those who have subscribed. I really appreciate the support. Hope you'll drop in next time. Take care now.